Good morning, everybody. It's Ray Gibson, and I just wanted to, I don't know, give a little bit of an update. I may end up uploading this vlog to both of my channels, and let me tell you what. Oh, I, look, I, let me tell you why I get a kick out of this. Out of that is as controversial as the Black Panther movie is worldwide, but especially in the United States, um, come to find out, even to this day, right now, um, it's scaring the hell out of people who are not black. So, and I find that funny because although it's just a movie, it has ignited um, the black community around the world, the diasporas around the world who are melanin, who were originally Moors in Africa before we got over here, before we ended up over here. Um, it's moving us, but it's scaring the heck out of everybody else. And so me doing the Black Panther salute is maybe my way of mocking how silly it is to be afraid of a movie that is moving tons of us, because all of our lives we've never seen a movie like that black superheroes that look like us. So yeah, I'm kind of mocking the establishment, or as they call them in the movie, colonizers, because it's so, the whole thing is just so silly that that's even happening. Anyway, I mentioned a lot in my last vlog that that I was going to expose my other channel to this channel. And sometime maybe a week or two ago, maybe even a little longer than that. No, okay, not as long as that. I decided to take the link out of the description of that vlog. Because I realized something. Me being a computer nerd, writing a book, and I think I'm a gifted writer, at least that's what I've been told, but I'm not a professional writer, and I'm not a journalist, and I don't know anything about that world. It's like learning another language, or it's like moving to another country when you've spent most of your life in one industry and then boom, you switch to another. It is a huge learning curve to navigate the literary world. And I don't have because I've it would have been probably easier. I wouldn't say easier, but I think I would have been able to draw more resources to me as a lesbian. When I thought that's what I was, it would have been easier than doing it as a transgender black man. I cannot open up people's heads and see what they're thinking, but I can feel what they're thinking, just based on the responses that I'm getting in that new world that I'm traveling in, that I'm having to learn about. So, what do I mean by that? So I told everybody I sent my book to a publisher. And immediately after I did that, I started asking questions about the process and how long it would take. Would they read the book and then make a decision to publish it or not to publish it? Would they communicate that with me and everything? And lo and behold, I sent that book out there with no net and have not gotten a response from that publisher. No matter how many phone calls I make, how many emails that I send, nothing. So I also said in that my last vlog that I would continue to look for a literary agent, which I have been doing, and also other publishing companies that I may not know exist out there, because I'm standing by the fact that my book shouldn't be self-published. I may change my mind. Heck, look, I've already changed my mind about several things that I'm doing, including exposing my other channel to this channel. Because I have a feeling, and it's just a gut instinct, that exposing that other channel may have hurt my chances of, when the media looks at this one, to start making judgments about the content that they see on the other one. And it tells a lot of my story, but not in gory detail. But, human beings are selective. They listen selectively. They see selectively. They think selectively. So I've got to make very, very sure that people don't go and see these little snapshots and then make a gross decision based on them little snapshots they see, the little snapshots of judgments that they make in their head about who they think I am and the power that I am, and then decide, well, we pretty much heard everything, so we'll make a decision based on that. Oh no, no. No way have you heard everything. I've lived 60 years. So, my book 1 currently is something like 104 pages, I think. And book 2 is probably going to be even longer than that, because the richness of how I came to be who I am today is contained in the second book. The first book, I was just finding my way. I was growing up. I was becoming an adult. I was doing many things and around my growth. But in the second book, they're going to see how all of that stuff earned me a six-figure income, how I dealt with the death of my mother, how I dealt with the rise, that the changes that I made in my career, relationships that I have been in. I got married when it was not legal to be married to a same-sex person. I took her to Hawaii and I married her in Hawaii. And I was only married to her for a year. But, I've just got, my story is amazing and it's sad. You're gonna experience the whole gamut of human emotions when you read my book. It isn't just all about being fun. It isn't all just about, what it was like to grow up in the shadow of a celebrity. That's what happened in the beginning. And I've had periods of time throughout my life where it did come into play, but for the most part, it didn't. I did not use my name to get much of anything, which is showing up now and biting me in the ass. I almost wish that I had done that sooner, because then I'd have some resources in my pocket today as a black transgender man, who we as black transgender men are kind of invisible in society. Not very many people are taking us seriously. We're not written about very much. If we are, it's because of our efforts to do so, not because the public is running around trying to find out why. Number one, a lot of them are invisible, and number two, um, I just lost my train of thought. I forgot what number two was. First we're invisible, and number two, nobody really cares what's going on with trans men. I'm finding out just yesterday that a lot of black transgender men still feel, and it may be true, that people don't know we exist because the media is chasing trans women around, be they white or black or Asian or Hispanic or American Indian. For some reason that we don't quite understand yet, they are shining the light on them and not us. So we literally have to barge our way into society to say, hey, we're here. We were there when they came to rise. Not as known as transgender, but known as transsexuals. And before that, they thought they were transvestites. Some were drag queens. And then there were some that were legitimately drag queens and transvestites. They weren't transgender. So we've been here all of this time, including trans men. But the media doesn't know this. The media isn't focused on transgender men. So this just brings me to how elusive the industry is right now, and why I'm having a hard time finding the needle in the haystack to get this book published, to get book one published, or in the editing process at least, so that I can get it out to you people. For the last 2.5 years, people have been saying, you need to write a book, without realizing that I was writing one when they said that. But I got behind, I got caught up in a lot of things. I allowed myself to get distracted. And then just life happened. And I thought originally that it would take me 1 year to write my entire story from scratch. That's what I thought. And then when I began to write, I realized how difficult making that deadline was going to be, because I had to start from scratch. My original book got stolen from a computer that I had it on in 2002, I think. I had been writing since I was 23 years old. I had been writing my story. And in 2002, I'm trying to do the math real quick in my head. In 2002, I was 45 years old, I think. So from the time I was 23 until I was 45, I had been writing on and off all of those years. And the entire thing was on a computer, and I was living in a really messed up motel in my hometown, Omaha, Nebraska. And I'll just tell this story, that I had lived in that little room. I fled from living with a family member, and I moved into that motel, and it was seedy. Man, there were drive-by shootings at night. There were times when I would hear that and I would hit the floor. And I was on the second level of that motel. It was only 2 levels, but I was on the second level. It was Ramada Inn. And there were drug dealers and pushers and prostitutes and addicts and alcoholics. Everybody was in this motel. And I was afraid to leave my room. The only time I left was to go across the street and get something to eat and come back. Because I didn't trust anything that was going on around there. And so I had been there for like 3 weeks and my laundry was piling up. And I said, I'm going to have to leave for a while. I don't want to, and I'm by myself. I didn't know anybody in there. And the only people who actually saw me move into that room were the employees of that motel. So I didn't want to leave the room for any long stretch and periods of time, but I had to get my clothes clean because they were just piling up and I didn't have anything but dirty clothes to wear. So I packed up all my stuff, all the clothes I needed to wash, and I went to my father's house. And it took all day to do my laundry, and then I stayed and ate dinner with him and his wife. And then went back to that motel. And when I got there, the door was ajar. And I just pushed it open. I didn't have to use the key because it was open. And I could hear outside of the door beep, 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 beeping. Which I knew what that sound was, but I didn't quite know what was going on until I opened the door and went inside. They had stolen my computer, all the peripherals. I had some toys, joystick and some other, pieces of equipment to that computer. They had stolen everything. They stole my Palm Pilot. They stole my jewelry. And they stole my mother's urn. They yanked, the beep, beep, beeping were my UPS boxes. I had 2 of them. They're called universal power supplies, which I plugged all my equipment into so that if there was a power surge or a blackout or a brownout, my computer wouldn't be short-circuited by any of that, Mother Nature. Both of my UPS boxes were in the bed because when you just yank them out of the wall or whatnot, they start beeping as the battery dies. And they were dumped on the bed and everything else was gone. They left my clothes, didn't touch I had everything in that room. They didn't touch any of the suitcases with clothes in them or any of that stuff. They just took all the valuables that they thought I had in there, including my mother's urn, which was a very, very nice urn. It was a oak wood box with a smoke glass with a poem or a prayer on the front of that box. And they thought, I don't know what they thought was inside of it, but they took that too. And you know what? That devastated me almost more than anything else they took, including my computer. They took my mom. Now see, this is the kind of thing that's going to happen when I start writing about my mom passing. Is I'm going to get lost and caught up in the emotions because I forget why I even told that story right now. Because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling her. I'm feeling her loss. I'm feeling the loss of her ashes. Yep. I'm gone. Anyway, this vlog is getting long and I'm trying not to make them more than 15 minutes. But I just wanted to give everybody an update that, right now I'm dealing with a lot of male ego stuff in the literary world that I'm not used to dealing with. And I'm a black man too. So, if some of you understand what I'm saying, that being in that world, being as much of an alpha male as I am, not really being a butt kisser, I'm having to pull out Mr. Tactful when I'm not. I'm tacky as hell. Well, I'm not tacky, I'm not petty, but I speak my mind, and a lot of people can't be with that. They're scared of that. It's why they're scared of us. God forbid we have a voice and we're vocal with it, especially if we're black men. Look around, do your research, do your history. They're trying to take us out in this society. So that's where I'm at. It's early in the morning, so it's gonna maybe it'll be faster upload for this one. I also might change the title of my book. Not a lot, just one word. I might change Ghetto to Hood, but I'm gonna find a publisher first and talk to them about all of my thoughts around my book, and see what they think is going to be best for the book. What is going to connect to the readers. That's how I'm writing this book, is to connect with you out there. It ain't for my ego. It ain't for me to heal. It ain't for any of those reasons that I'm writing this book. It's to make a difference in the world. So everybody have a blessed weekend. Well, you only got one day left, so hey, make it a great one. And Ray Gibson will talk with you later. Peace.